They call it the Temple of Speed, and the pilgrims have come to worship. It's all about the speed today. Qualifying awaits us. Welcome to Monza for the Italian Grand Prix.
Hello there everybody, it's Joe here, and welcome back to my F1 25 My Team Career Mode. We are now here at the Temple of Speed. This is Monza for the Italian Grand Prix, and as it's his home race, of course we are racing as Andrea Kimi Antonelli. If you haven't seen the last instalment, which was the Dutch Grand Prix, do be sure to check that one out before you see this one. We had a chance of points in the last race, but unfortunately a spin kind of put us out of contention and we ended up not securing points. But the car is getting better, although not that that line would tell you any different. But the car is getting better and we are getting closer. That lap was absolutely atrocious, but I'm convinced that going round a second time will help us, and indeed it is a huge improvement. Enough to see us through. Maybe not by as much as we would have liked, but it's still through in 13th and 14th. Now into Q2 then. What can we do here? Clipping the chicane brilliantly. I feel like we've got a chance to go well here, as long as we can stay within DRS range of cars in front. Otherwise I worry that due to the lack of overall power that we seem to have on the straight, we're going to get eaten alive. But here's Q2. Where are we going to put it? P9 and nicely through into Q3. Making it through by just over a tenth of a second there. So I'm happy to take that. But it's quite a shock to see Senna go out. Really surprises me. And then in Q3 we elected not to do a lap, but rather to save a set of soft tyres if we needed them. It's going to be P10. A top 10 grid start with opportunities that can come our way.
A difficult race awaits these drivers here in Monza, but glory awaits too at the Italian Grand Prix. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Mika Hakkinen completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Russell, Oscar Piastri and Leclerc, Tsunoda, Stroll, Fernando Alonso and Andrea Kimi Antonelli, Senna, Albon, Franco Colapinto and Aaron, Doohan, Behrman, Carlos Sainz and Pierre Gasly, Hülkenberg, Bortoleto, Lawson and Isaac Hadjar rounds off the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And alongside me today, former Formula One driver and former world champion too. See, told you I'll give you a big intro. Anthony Davidson, hello.
On the grid for this Italian Grand Prix with 27 laps ahead of us. What will unfold in this race? We are underway and we've made a nice little getaway there. Stroll, he didn't seem too sure of himself, but in the second phase has got away well. We're staying alongside Fernando Alonso. I'm going down the inside. Is there room to squeeze a few cars here? Yes, there are. We've taken a dive up the inside and moved up to P6. What a nice start that is. Now using overtake to get on the back of Oscar Piastri. Can we have a look at him out of the Curva Grande into the chicane? Yes, we can. Sending it down the inside of the Papaya McLaren. And we've gone from P10 up to P5 with a sensational start. Really the start of dreams that, as we're now in P5 and watching the cars in front have their battle. I would love to stay within a second of them. And so far, as we head onto the straight for the first time, we have, but we've got Oscar Piastri trying to have a look. So as much as I would love to look at Hakkinen and Russell, I've got Hakkinen's teammate right up my chuff. and he's having a look down the inside. I'm going to try and hold it out around the outside. No way through there for Piastri, and Russell a little bit backed up off the corner, but there was no way to get at him as we now complete lap 2 onto lap 3, and we're not really as close to the guys in front as we'd like to be. Yellow flag behind us. I'm not sure what that's all about just yet as we try and stay close to the battle in front. Still a yellow flag, so I wonder what that's going to be for, and I think it is for Senna. It is for Senna, so he is slowing down at the end of the straight, and that engine goes bang, and Senna's engine braking Tifosi hearts at that moment as he pulls off out of the race, and so early on too, so that's really not good for him. Yuki Tsunoda has got a 10-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags, so that's not good for him. Oscar Piastri is now on my right and making his way back up into P5, but I'm going to try and stay with him up to the DRS point. We've sort of done it, but we're not as close as I'd like to be. And here comes Yuki Tsunoda now, and Tsunoda is side by side with me. I'm trying to cover as much as I can, but there's not a lot in doing there, and we stay on the back of Piastri while Russell and Hakkinen resume their battle for third. It's really going off with them two, and they're changing position lap by lap as we're on lap 4 out of 27. Tsunoda in 7th, Leclerc in 8th, and I think it's Lando Norris at the moment leading the way. And we're still trying to stay with the battle in front so we don't get swallowed up by the likes of Tsunoda, Leclerc and co. And we got a safety car! We have a safety car, and that is for a spin for Alex Albon, who has crashed out of the race. I swear he did that on either F1 24 or 23 during one of my career modes on that game in that exact spot, and Albon has done it again. Right, time to restart now, and we're straight away on it. We catch Oscar Piastri napping. Can we have a go at George Russell as well with a bit of late braking? The answer is yes, we can. Russell fighting me as hard as he can, and we're now up into P4. This is extraordinary here at Monza. Up in the top 4. Ahead of us now is Hakkinen and Verstappen, and they're trying to clear. Verstappen and Norris are trying to clear a way out front so that they don't have the McLaren for company. But we're sitting very pretty in P4 at the moment, and if we stay there, that would be our best finish of the season. So far, I think our best finish is P6, and we really want to try and make P5 or higher. Right, this is lap 7 now, and we're watching Max Verstappen all over the back of Lando Norris. He's getting right up the gearbox of Lando Norris. Is he going to have a look? Yes, he is. Down the inside goes Max Verstappen, side by side, heading into the braking area. Who is going to emerge out in front? Side by side round 1, side by side round 2, and it's Verstappen with the better exit who emerges in front in the Red Bull. Lando Norris losing the position, but now Norris staying right with Verstappen here. And look at us, right behind Hakkinen. We're having the race of our lives here. But meanwhile, we're watching Lando Norris pulling out to try and get alongside. We're having our own battle there as well. But Norris and Verstappen side by side round the Parabolica, side by side down the straight. Norris trying to blast ahead. Verstappen with good speed. And at the moment, they're still staying side by side. What a fight for the lead this is. And Verstappen trying to get down the inside. Norris goes in a bit tight into 2. And that better exit serving Verstappen well. Next time round, here comes Lando Norris once again. And this time, he is past and ahead of the Dutchman in the Red Bull. And Lando Norris in the Mercedes taking the lead. Meanwhile, I've got George Russell right in my gearbox. And I'm doing very well here, I think, to stay with Mika Hakkinen. But unfortunately, that little mistake might cost me. And Russell's going to have a go down the inside into the first Lesmo. Doesn't make that work, unfortunately for him, but very fortunately for us. However, we have lost Mika Hakkinen's DRS. But admittedly, has been carrying us to stay ahead and in the top 5 at this stage of the Grand Prix. Into the pits we come for a change of tyre. Off go the mediums, on go the hards, and we're held a little bit longer than we would have liked, but thankfully nowhere near as long as the glitch that we've had in this game holding us. And we now emerge ahead of Leclerc and Russell, so Leclerc has jumped Russell in the pits, which is great news for the Tifosi. And now we're going to get on it as quickly as possible. Verstappen has also pitted in front of us, but he has the cushion of Gabriel Bortoleto between us, so that's going to help him. And now Bortoleto, well, we've got past him, and so has Charles Leclerc, and Leclerc is staying right with me here. He might fancy a go into Ascari, but he stays behind for now. And look how clean that was through there. That was pretty clean, that was pretty efficient, and we're still nicely inside the top 10. Leclerc, meanwhile, has made it through on the back straight as we now head round the Parabolica to begin another lap. Unfortunately for Leclerc, we're in the detection point here, and we're only half a second back, which means we're going to have a nice dose of DRS, and we're going to have a go down the straight. Leclerc defends, but eventually not a lot he can do as we go around the outside. Leclerc makes light contact with us, but we have made it back into P10, or what is P10 at the moment, because other cars have yet to pit, and Hakkinen is now battling Hulkenberg, so I think we've got a couple of late stoppers mixed up with us. Leclerc going back through before Ascari. There was no fighting that off. The absolute momentum he had was strong there, but he nearly lost it going round Ascari, and we're able to catch back up with him because of that mistake. He nearly threw it in the wall, so some good car control from Charles Leclerc, but now we're back all over him once again. We're going to be 6/10 behind at the detection point, which means we've got DRS, and George Russell is also getting interested, but I'm not interested in staying with Russell. My fight is with Leclerc as we head to the outside of turn 1 and once again get the position from the Ferrari driver and give him just a bit more of a headache than Ferrari would usually give him. Lap 15 out of 27, we're now approaching Nico Hulkenberg, but I believe he's diving into the pits this time. He is, and George Russell is diving for the inside and making it through ahead of us there. Not a lot we could do about that. Charles Leclerc trying to find a way through around the outside. I'm going to brake as late as I dare, bang wheels with George Russell, and somehow round the outside with that level of traction, staying ahead. Isaac Hadjar in the top 5. Surely he has to pit, and he does end up pitting, so now we're back into 4th. But there's George Russell blasting past us, and admittedly not a lot we can do about that. And I even thought about having a look to the inside, which we do, and we brake very late and hold on to it still. But I'm starting to feel like maybe this might be a matter of when over if George Russell gets past. We're doing what we can to fight him off, because P4 would be a sensational finish, but so would P5, especially with how the mid-season has gone as we head into the closing quarter of this season. Round the Parabolica we go. Russell right there, and Russell blasting through once again. Oscar Piastri, is he going to try and find a way through? Yes, he is. Piastri is through. Russell's covered the inside. I'm now diving up that very inside, and still, with some late braking and great traction out the corner, we are holding on to P4 for dear life in this Italian Grand Prix. But at what point does it become an exercise in futility? Lap 19 of 27. Can we actually hold P4 here? Here we go again. Lap 20. Russell is through. Piastri is lurking right behind. And Piastri going for the inside. And this time we can't take the inside to go after George Russell. So we're having to accept that Russell's through. And Piastri has also made it through. So we're now down to P6. We're unable to hold on to the top 4 and the top 5 at this stage. And I want to try and get back after Oscar Piastri if there is a chance to retake P5, because I still want the best finish of the season. It's still a strong race either way if we manage to pull back some good points. Piastri to the inside. I'm on the outside. In fact, I'm in the middle because Leclerc's gone for the outside. I've passed them both. And now Leclerc and Piastri are fighting each other, which is great news for me because I can use that as a way to get forward a little bit. Lap 23 of 27, and I'm tactically letting Piastri through so that we can have the DRS on the pit straight. It's a bit of a dirty tactic, but it's one that'll work for us. Piastri, however, getting a superb exit out of Parabolica. But look at the run we're building here. Piastri to the inside. He's not going to have a chance to hold that. He does not hold that, and we move back up into P5. And even if we hold on to this position, what a shot in the arm that would be after the mid-season we've had. We have not managed to score very many points out of the last few races. So to grab a top 5 and secure 10 points, that would be a massive shot in the arm for this season, as we've now got to try and defend Piastri. It is the last lap. Can he do anything heading into Ascari? No, he can't. Lando Norris then is your race winner. But onto the back straight for the final time. Is there a way through for Oscar Piastri? It doesn't look like it. As we head round the Parabolica for the final time, we are going to do it. After a run of up and down races, finally a big result, a top 5, 10 points. That'll do, Donkey. That'll do.
That was close. Wow, what a race.
Here's the checkered flag, and our winner has Lando'd. It's Lando Norris for victory.
A great display of dominance today, Crofty, by this driver. They led from lights out to the flag at the end, led every lap of the race. Brilliant stuff by them, and excited to see what more they can do in future races.
We had drama from start to finish, but in the end, there was only ever one that could take that top spot. He holds the trophy aloft, and why shouldn't he? A richly deserved win today for Lando Norris. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
What a race that was. Absolutely superb. We did not put a foot wrong, had a lot of fun battling the front-running drivers, and in the end, bagged a top 5 finish, which is what we've been needing since the mid-season. It's a win for Lando Norris, but with the gap Verstappen has in the championship, that may be too little too late. Verstappen is second, Hakkinen third, then it's Russell fourth, Antonelli giving home fans something to cheer about in fifth, Piastri in sixth, Leclerc, well, Ferrari fans aren't going to be that happy, in P7. And there's confirmation of the championship gap. And there's us leaping forward and jumping Carlos Sainz in the standings, moving into P11, now on 31 points instead of 21. That's looking a little better, isn't it? Russell and Hakkinen third and fourth in the championship. Tsunoda, Senna, Piastri, Leclerc, Alonso and Albon rounding out the top 10. Really though, that is a race that we needed. We needed some strong points, and that has actually moved us a little bit closer to Williams and Aston Martin. So jumping one of them may still be possible. Thank you for watching this instalment of Career Mode. Please don't forget to leave a like and hit subscribe if you're new here and you want to see more content from me. Until the next time, TTFN, ta-ta for now, take care and enjoy the rest of your day.